gonna get the penta kill for Ricky.
Oh,
Holy
got knocked out.
smokes,
We're gonna
crash. Zephrot clapping absolutely everyone in that fight. Coming through for Barlow, the man, the myth, the legend. FaZe here getting up this fight. Comes out on the fence with nice ult.
Hello, Saints Nation, and welcome to some St. Clair League of Legends here today in the NECC. My name is Jackson the Pride Brown, joined alongside Josh Fundy Pafundi. We got a great games here tonight, a doubleheader in the NECC preseason. Yeah. How are you feeling about this one?
I'm so excited. I mean, NECC preseason, obviously, we saw the start of CLOL last week. St. Clair started it off with a bang, for sure. So I'm excited to see what they can do. We've got 2 best-of-1 games tonight, so short and sweet, but you know, we'll see some exciting gameplay.
Yeah, you know, we're only going to see 2 maps here, but we are guaranteed to see at least 2, so that is a good sight there. I believe the first one is going to be against York here tonight, coming into this one, and we will be following it up with Bay State's blue roster being their 3rd roster here. So a lot of good games coming through in this NECC preseason, and they are really going to be trying to just use these games as good practice, maybe trying some new comps, get some good scrim practice in, and just kind of test the waters and how these other collegiate teams have been playing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, we've only faced, or St. Clair's only faced the one collegiate team right now this season, right? So I honestly, more so, I'm excited to see St. Clair try out some more of their own comps here in the preseason. I know in the bot lane, we've been seeing Barlow and Fez go for a lot of the meta bot lane picks. But I would like to see, I'd like to see some different picks out of them. Maybe just try some stuff out, right? Because it is preseason. You know, these games are they're like less important than a regular season game. Obviously, you still do want to win, but I would like to see them use it more as a practice game almost.
Yeah, right. These games don't really have any seeding impact going into the actual playoffs. So, yeah, they don't really have a crazy amount of impact. But, yeah, about new comps and kind of following the meta, seeing kind of testing the new metas and whatnot as well is definitely what we're going to be trying to keep an eye on here for St. Clair tonight. That being said, we do also have some new League of Legends streaming graphics and whatnot to use here tonight. So I'm very, very excited to get some of those here started for us. But regardless, they haven't started in the NECC preseason yet. I believe they have these 2 games tonight and then 2 more in the following week here. And so, yeah, we're going to have 4 preseason games total, these of which are being the first 2. So, you know, we're still a bit away from regular season, but yeah. I like having preseasons in leagues to, you know, kind of like just determine kind of what the feel like. It's like a feeler for kind of what the regular season is going to be.
Yeah, it also gives the team, like, they get to feel out some of the other collegiate teams, like, in this space. And obviously, they also get to see how other teams have improved, how they've changed their rosters in this few weeks that we've been off. So, yeah, I'm definitely...
Yes, we are going to be getting started here in just a couple minutes or so as they all are hopping into their draft. We're going to see some of the bans and selects coming through here. You know, you're more of a little bit of the League of Legends specialist rather than me, following all of the meta changes and whatnot whenever you can. And with that being said, what do you think kind of we're maybe expected to see tonight that we might not have seen before, you know, due to the new changes?
As much, like, last week, here's the thing. Last week, they did... Saints definitely used a lot of the champs that like were kind of affected by these changes. Obviously, the preseason was the massive change, and we've seen small tweaks since then. But I'm still expecting a lot of the lethal tempo bot lane. Obviously, the ADCs that can just stack up attack speed slowly, get better and better as they're going into the late game, get stronger and stronger. Like, it's bot lane, it's really just a farm fest right now, but it's also where your strength lies in the game. But then again, we always have the wild card. There's always the wild card of Ricky in the top lane, being such a strong solo laner as he is. He's really good in the 1v2 gank situations. He's really good at the macro. So we can always see stuff out of him. And I'd also like to see some stuff out of Zephrot. Obviously, mid lane right now is a pretty stale meta. Right now, it's a lot of control mages. We're seeing a lot of Corki, a lot of Victor. And it's very slow without the jungle presence, unless there's jungle presence there. So yeah, I would like to see some Zephrot plays as he scales up into the late game. Should he go for those picks? Yeah, that's really about it. We also got Fresh. We got Fresh in the jungle this season. Very exciting. Our support from the last season. And I know I'd seen him pick the Zinza, I'd seen him pick the Rengar, which honestly I thought was a pretty curious pick last week.
Yeah, that's a more of a comfort pick. I know me and Dan were talking about that on the last week broadcast, and that was a really comfort pick for him. That's one of those players, characters that he does queue up a crazy amount in, the ranked queues and whatnot. So that is definitely going to be, where he's comfortable at. So that is going to be used to his advantage there. And about Ricky in that top lane, actually, he was playing a lot more passive in that last C-Law game there. Playing a little bit more of that, poke and fall off kind of game, and just trying to like maintain that top lane's presence rather than making those big overzealous plays where he gets a little bit too confident and it might hurt the Saints overall at the end. But regardless, I mean, St. Clair, it's looking good. We are going to be heading into the draft here. Look at this, looking so clean here.
The new overlay for the draft. So as we're getting into draft here, bans, I'm not 100% sure on what the comfort picks on York University sides are. However, there we go. I am expecting the Jax ban at first. We're most likely going to see an Aatrox ban come out here as well, as we do in most games. But I do want to see them try and ban out Barlow. I mean, Barlow has, as we said, ADC is like, it's kind of the position this season. And I think you got to get rid of that Caitlyn, get rid of that Jinx that he likes to play, and kind of force him onto an uncomfortable pick.
That's one thing I've heavily noticed so far in this one, is that the ADCs have such an important role in this new meta change, this new season, whatnot, regardless. And I'm expecting to see a lot of that throughout this whole semester. It's just the ADC being one of those big players to keep an eye on. But regardless of that being said, yeah, the Jax is going to be taken away instantly. You do not want to allow Ricky on that Jax.
You do not. All right. St. Clair side, however, we're going to see Cassiopeia and Elise getting banned out here. Elise, I haven't heard much of her in the jungle this season, but probably just a comfort pick on York's side. And then Cassiopeia as well, another late game scaling champ that is going to slowly get up. It's going to stack up that tier. Once she gets 1 or 2 items up right, the damage is going to come out, that ramping damage. She also provides a lot of CC. And there we go, the Corki ban. So Corki, another super strong pick this season. The mid laners, the slow scaling mid laners. It's just where we're at as a meta right now.
Yeah, the slow scaling mid laners, it's playing for more of that late game kind of presence, right? And we've been seeing that a lot, right? You're either going for that early game presence, trying to get a big jump on your opponents, or going in and playing that, slow scaling late game presence and just trying to like maintain the game almost, not allowing your opponents to get too blowing you out of the water. But if you can just keep the game under control, you can really start to carry it away at the end of that game there as you do head towards the end. So now we see some more coming through. Any opinions on those final bans?
Yeah, we do see a Renekton ban coming out from York. Another dig at Ricky. They gotta thin out his champ pool, otherwise he just has too many options, to be honest. And then Aphelios ban coming out. Aphelios, another strong ADC who can utilize lethal tempo, although for players, I've noticed a lot of players have personal preference whether they like to take press the attack or lethal tempo, so that's really just their choice. But yeah, Aphelios, another really strong ADC. I mean, scaling up into the late game, his ultimate comes out crazy in those team fights, and it's good to get him out of the way there for St. Clair's side. Yeah. And the Caitlyn pick.
Yeah, the Caitlyn pick is something we saw a lot last week there in C-Lol. It was almost every map, I think, we actually saw the Caitlyn come through, whether it was for the Saints or whether it was for the opponent. And it was utilized fairly well, to be completely honest, and I'm excited to see how it does get utilized here tonight. And just as you were saying before that, though, about the limiting Ricky's hero select, or champ select, sorry, it's really a big deal, right? Because if he does not get limited down, his select is so big, and that's what helps the Saints win so many other games, is just because their champ select is so wide, and it's so difficult for other teams to try to get past this ban phase and actually we always talk about winning the game in the draft. It's really hard to win the game in the draft against the Saints, and that is something that definitely does benefit them. So Caitlyn going to be the first coming through from York, and then following it up, you're going to take us away with that one.
We are going to see Karma being picked by St. Clair. I'm assuming this is a Fez. This is a pick for Fez, or Phase. Is it Phase?
It's Phase.
Phase.
Yeah.
It's going to be a pick for Phase, and then the Jin coming out after. Reason I'm assuming it's for Phase, Karma, not really the type of champ Ricky plays, although Karma top is a thing and has been a thing. But yeah, Karma Jin, pretty strong bot lane, pretty oppressive bot lane. I mean, Karma, always an oppressive bot laner. With her mantra, she's going to be constantly throwing out enhanced Qs, which leave a pool on the ground that basically pops after and slows. So very oppressive against ADCs. But Caitlyn Lux, that is going to be the first 2 picks for York University. Very strong bot lane, probably the strongest, if not one of the strongest bot lanes in the game right now.
Yeah.
So oppressive. I mean, we saw it last week. Like, let us know how that went. I mean, you casted
I
that
mean,
game.
yeah, it did not go too well. Whoever had the Caitlyn Lux, I mean, it really utilized their advantage, right? I mean, the bot lane being so big here right now, the ADC being so big, right? So, I mean, we are going to see that Caitlyn and the...
Twisted Fate is going to come out. So Twisted Fate, another mid laner, scaling up. Actually, to be fair, Twisted Fate does have a lot of early presence with his, once he hits level 6 with his teleport. So he's going to be roaming, and he always provides that constant CC, usually building the Everfrost first, and then he's going to go, he's got that gold card into the Everfrost. It gives him nice CC. He's always going to be roaming. A lot of mid laners can't keep up with the roams. And there's going to be the Darius pick from Ricky.
Yeah, Ricky,
pretty
I think,
standard.
Yeah, pretty standard. Yeah, like you were saying, the initial pick there from St. Clair, not one of those champs that Ricky really does typically play, but that Darius pick is something that we can most likely are going to be seeing on Ricky here today. Being on that Darius, he's going to try to use that to his advantage up there in the top lane. And honestly, Darius is pretty comfortable for Ricky. Like, he has always seemed pretty solid on the Darius from what I've seen all last semester, and I'd expect nothing less here going into this one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, last semester there was the one game. I remember one game Ricky was like, he picked the Darius and he was doing perfectly fine, but just not that like hyper snowball that we usually see from Ricky. And then later on in the game, he ended up coming in with the Yumi and getting a pentakill. So, I mean,
so take it for
the
what you
Darius
want.
is always lethal at all points in the game, especially on players of this caliber. I mean.
Yes, we are seeing a lot of these bans actually come through here. Now, just one more until all the bans are finalized. But, I mean, that is going to be it. I mean, what are your opinion on all those bans then here, Fundy? Because, I mean, they really limited Ricky's pool here, but he does still come away with the Darius.
Yeah, he does slip away with the Darius. And then these last two bans, St. Clair actually looking to ban out the York's top laner here with the Gwen and Aatrox ban. Gwen has been such a strong pick. We've seen her in all levels of pro play. I mean, she's so many options, scales so well into the late game. Pretty good early as well. Has a lot of good poke and trading potential. Her E gives her extra attack range, which helps a lot, and gives her attack speed as well. And the Victor pick coming out from St. Clair for Zephyros. Like I said, we're gonna see these slow, scaly mid laners. But I mean, Victor, he does so much damage once he gets his stuff up, once he evolves his abilities. But you just gotta wait until that crucial point in the game. And the Xin Zhao pick for jungle coming out for York U. Xin Zhao, we're just seeing a ton of meta picks here.
Yeah.
And then the Malphite top lane, however, not one I've seen too much this season. But Malphite, always a strong pick. Into the Darius is gonna... It's pretty good.
Yeah,
there is the bleed from the Darius, but I mean, you've got that constant armor from the Malphite. And then we are going to see Trundle jungle for Fresh, which is, once again, another pretty solid pick. Trundle, he's got so much utility. He goes fast. He goes super fast. He gets that movement speed. And then his pillar, obviously, is going to provide the knock-up and the slow. He's a really good duelist. He's got tons of clear potential. He chunks AD from the enemy team. It's a very solid comp here from both sides, honestly. As on the York side, it looks like they're going to be playing more towards the bot lane, obviously, with that Caitlyn Lux, the Twisted Fate coming out. Those roams are going to be coming out a lot. So that once he hits level 6, that's most likely what I'm going to be keeping an eye on, unless there is an easy roam top lane, but I highly doubt it. In this matchup, I mean, Darius Malphite, like...
Yeah, Darius has a little bit of the upper hand in the top lane. That's something I wanted to touch on a little bit here. I think that he does have, like... You might see Ricky actually get a little bit more aggressive here, knowing that he does have the upper hand there. And just him getting swarmed up there in the fight in the top lane, that could be a little bit of a concern for him. But regardless, I mean, Ricky, he has that dominance up there. If he does, realize that there is a lot of pressure getting put onto him, he will just play that, poke and fall back kind of game. Yeah. But if it's that one-on-one fight, I could definitely see Ricky, getting a little bit confident in his play and really using that to their advantage. And it could either work out great for the Saints or it could work out pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, we know Ricky's never afraid to start fighting, right?
Yeah,
that's like the name of his game.
That's one thing that's changed a lot, though, from what I saw just in the initial CLOL match. Like, it really looked like he really, re-looked that play, like, that he was playing about last semester and, really try to slow it down maybe a little bit. Definitely still wanting to take those fights, but I think Ricky in the top lane is definitely something we're going to have to keep an eye on kind of, his play style going into the season, because I think that we're going to see a little bit of the, the teams in general's play style actually get changed up a little bit here throughout the semester.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, 2 players, one with a role change, one brand new player.
Right?
Obviously, the play styles are going to be changed. But yeah, I noticed a lot in the C-Law game, especially in the game where he was playing set in that first game. I noticed he would go in a lot and he would get a really aggressive trade. But where we would normally see him try and kind of, I want to say greed, but usually it works out for him. But yeah, try and greed and go for the kill. A lot of times he would just back off, play the wave state, crash a massive wave into tower, just get that gold league going in the top lane. And then we saw like the jungle had to come give some support. They had to
and that's what's kind of funny when you say like greed, right? Because like it's like, okay, yeah, greed, but it works out. I mean, like that's the big thing, right? It's like, okay, is it greed if it works out? I mean, it's something that's the thing, right? So here we go. But yeah, then the jungle would have to come up and show all that kinds of support. So that's one thing that York's kind of got to be aware of is, not having to draw the jungle away from their dedicated playstyle, right? And to support the top lane, because supporting the top lane is never always necessarily a bad thing, but it just really draws you away from your main objective at the time. So it's definitely something that we got to keep an eye on. So we are going to be hopping into this game here in about just a minute or so here, almost probably even less than a minute here now. But yeah, I'm going to be very excited here to see some more Saints League of Legends. I mean, we've only seen a little bit of them so far. We've only got a little taste of this new roster, the role change, and I'm excited to see a lot more coming in here in the next couple seconds.
Yeah, super excited. And final notes here, I guess. Comp-wise, I want to say York has a really strong level 6. The second that level 6... Oh, and we are going to see St. Clair, all 5 players moving in bot here. They may be trying to go for an invade, or maybe they're going to be trying to catch this Lux out while she tries to gain the vision, but she is going to get that ward down, and St. Clair isn't going to be able to take it, so they won't even get the free gold at the starting. However, this is going to be like a go notification for York to start going into their jungle. They are going to set up near St. Clair's blue buff here.
Wow, there's a lot. Like, we saw in CLOL last week, a lot of these individual fights. And we see it a lot very regular, right? Where, each player goes to their dedicated location and goes in those one-on-one fights. Yeah. But no, this is going to be both teams really wanting to team stack up here.
Oh, wards are down.
No, Barlow. He's going to be in a tough spot. FaZe now in a tough spot as well. But it looks like everything's not going to work out too badly here for the Saints as York University does fall off. FaZe still lurking around. Barlow and FaZe coming up here and working together here. Now let's see how this one plays out.
Yeah, I do not like that decision coming from Barlow, especially considering he just used both of his summoner spells. But that is going to be a quick double kill from York University side. One going to the Caitlyn, one going to the Xin Zhao. 2 very strong champions to get gold on early. But at least we're going to see Fresh, start here in the top lane, or start here on the red side, pardon. And he's just going to get his buff. He's going to go about his day. But I mean, that bot lane, I don't know what Barlow and Fresh were really thinking there. With the Lux there, it's just too dangerous to try and make that move back in.
The confidence from St. Clair there was a little bit too strong on that play because it did not go in their favor. So we do see Ricky, just kind of hold down this top lane here now, and everybody kind of playing their deadied positions as FaZe and Barlow once again back at it. They immediately want their revenge here, and there will be a little bit of damage poked out, but just falling back. But that's going to be rooted as one of the Saints, and that's another player down. FaZe will lose his life.
3 kills in the first 2 minutes for York University, starting off of a nice invade. And then, of course, as we talked about, the Caitlyn Lux, so aggressive. So, you punish every single tiny mistake that the enemy makes, right? FaZe, he walked up to that bush with no vision. Lux able to hit the root, and that is all of his health gone in a split second. We are looking at a almost 2k gold lead starting out here for York, as Ricky's going to start getting these aggressive trades going. See, this is what I'm saying. The bleed from the Darius, it's just going to help him win a lot of these trades with the Malphite, especially early on. And we are going to see Fresh come in here, try to come in here for a gank, but Sweet Tangerine, he is safe and sound.
Yeah, I mean, Sweet Tangerine is safe and sound. Does take a lot of damage to his name, though, and so does Lacan. So, I mean, there is a good amount of damage done here over to the side of York University. It all just comes down to the cleanup. Ricky does look like he wants to get a little bit aggressive here onto Khan, and we can see if it does work out. That is going to be all the minions down, and with that being said, it is just going to allow Ricky to just fall off here. And Khan actually going to be up to level 4 here now, matching Ricky's level 4, and Sweet Tangerine still in here, poking out these minions, trying to gain some farm for himself. But regardless, it's still in the hands of York University right now. They're in the driver's seat of this game fully with those 3 early kills.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the and as we're seeing Ricky here, he's gonna go in on Khan. He's able to burn the flash after he saw Monka in the bot lane, in the bot river, clearing that ward. He knows he's safe to go in. He's got Fresh on the top side of the jungle. It's just, we're seeing this aggressive Ricky once again. And mid lane, I also want to say, as we're seeing a fight come out here in bot lane, and Barlow is going to go down to the chain CC from the Lux, from the Xin Zhao, and the Caitlyn damage going to keep ramping up. Lux going to pick up a kill. It is not looking good for St. Clair in these first few minutes, although Zephyrock getting a lot of damage.
Yeah, he was very, very close to being able to find that cleanup there, but it's just not enough, and I think that is going to be the first one over to St. Clair. Ricky will take down Lacan there and provide St. Clair a little bit of an opening over towards that top lane side, which is definitely a benefit for St. Clair, as it is something they just need an answer back at that point. They just need to get something on the board here to try to really start answering back, but there's a lot of presence over here now to St. Clair, and you see all this damage being done onto the initial tower, and this is not the start that you are looking for here. I mean, there's so many plates getting dropped off this one. The amount of damage is unreal.
Yeah, and then you just see, you can see Barlow, he's at the back, way behind the tower, way behind the minions, still getting hit by that Lux root. It's just a potent bot lane to try and face, and there's not much you can do once you're already behind like this. I mean, the Caitlyn's already got the Noon Quiver, the damage, the attack speed, she's already so much ahead of Barlow and FaZe. There really isn't much they could do. We're seeing Monka, he's playing here to the bot side. He's invading there, taking that blue buff. Just very rough for the side of St. Clair right now. Although Fresh and Ricky did help them out a little bit, but the gold gap still looking at around 2K here.
Yeah, with being only, under 6 minutes into this game and having a 2.3k gold differential is a scary sight to see here for St. Clair, right? It's definitely something they can claw back from. It's still very early game, and there's, one big play swings this one right back into an even clean slate. However, it is just going to be St. Clair just still trying to fight back and do whatever they can. I believe Ricky is still, pretty even up there with Lacan in the top lane level-wise, but regardless, besides that, I want to see a little bit more from Barlow and FaZe there. I mean, they've been having a really tough time.
Yeah, 4v4 coming out here in the bot side jungle, but it looks like both teams are just going to disengage. Fresh tried his best with that pillar, but the Caitlyn isn't able to make it out. And Ricky going in with the flash ghost. Lacan trying to run away as much as he can. Ricky has the ult up. Oh, the Malphite ult out, and the burn shouldn't kill him? Oh, it will kill him even through the corrupting pot. That is going to be another kill for Ricky. Solo kill in the top lane. No summoner spells up for either top laners now. So Ricky probably going to get a few plates off of this as well, considering St. Clair knows that Monka is still bot side with all that bot prio they have.
Yeah, the intel they have is definitely massive for St. Clair right now to find a couple of those points and just kind of get themselves a little bit back on track gold-wise and just getting their economy a little bit more balanced here with Yorks. But the 4 kills, the 2 here now definitely looking a little bit better here. Now, St. Clair, it might take a little bit to crawl back, but slow and steady is the process. There's no reason to get overconfident. You can play the long game here a little bit and, just try to farm up your gold to even theirs. And this is going to be big for Monka, though. If they can actually clean up that dragon without any problems, that's going to be really big for York to just really get a good head start.
Yeah, the Ocean Drake definitely going to help their bot lane stay in lane even longer, be even more impressive with that health regen. Monka going to get off a nice back here. I wanted to see Ricky try and get off a back here, but it looks like Fresh is actually going to move up into the top side jungle of York, but we are seeing Sweet Tangerine also move up, while Khan just taking so much damage from Ricky as he crashes this wave.
Yeah, Khan's been taking, it's been really difficult for Khan to try to hold this top lane against Ricky. I mean, we knew this going into the game that Ricky was going to have that little bit of advantage, towards that top lane side. But this bot lane for St. Clair is really where it struggles, right? I mean, we saw the bot lane from York. Yeah. They picked for the bot lane, right? I mean, right off the bat, York was, prepping for their bot lane dominance, and it's really showing here right now so early into the game. That's one thing. I was going to really anticipate seeing that bot lane presence that we were talking about, but not as dominant as it is. Now it is going to be Gibraltar falling down as well, and that is going to be so big here for the side of York.
Sephiroth getting hit by that root. The E is going to stay there, but he's not able. Oh, the gold card from Sweet Tangerine, And Logia is going to take down Sephiroth 2-0-3, but he may fall himself to the Ignite.
Oh.
No, he's going to live it just barely as the Malphite all comes out, and they're going to clean up Ricky, and that is a 3-4-0.
You know, it was looking a lot better for the Saints going into that team fight, than coming out. It's going to be a phase here now, getting rooted, and he's going to lose his life here as well. Sweet Tangerine will be the one to clean that one up. York University is looking dominant out of the gates here, only 9 minutes through, but so much of an advantage gold-wise, kill-wise. You know, they have the Dragon. They have so many other things up their sleeve that they can use here to try to take down St. Clair. It's going to be St. Clair almost needing to play, I wouldn't say perfect League of Legends to come back into this one, but they're going to definitely have to bring their A game here if they do want to just even up this game.
Yeah, I mean, Logia going to be able to take even more plates, even more gold for himself on that mid turret there. And already being 22 CS up on Barlow, plus not to mention all of the kills and assists. I believe he got the first blood. If not, it was the Xin. But one of the two did end up getting the first blood as well. So there's just so much gold in this bot lane right now.
You can see the bounties, even from the side of York right now. They got about 450 gold in bounties already, and to have that much with under 10 minutes, and to be spread out over 3 different players is the big one, right? And that's what is going to be big. I mean, it does allow St. Clair to, you know, if they do actually find the frag out on a few of these players, they will actually be able to, you know, get that gold into their name and, you know, be able to climb back a little bit in that aspect. But it's not going to be easy to take down any which of those 3 players right now.
Yeah, for sure. Once again, in the bot lane here, Fresh going to come down for a gank. Oh, but the root is not able to come off from FaZe's chain, and they are just going to be forced to back away as Sweet Tangerine coming down for the gank. Gold card cleanse going to be burned immediately, and it seems as though St. Clair is safe.
Yeah, St. Clair will be able to luckily make it away there, but it got a little bit scary for a few seconds when we did see Sweet Tangerine go for the little bit of a cutoff there on the play. But regardless, St. Clair will hold it down and will sneak away, but the bot lane is just continuously struggling. I can't emphasize enough. There's a big root. It's going to be FaZe takedown, and that is going to be the cleanup onto him. Logia will find that one, and that is now going to allow Logia to be up to 3-0 here now.
First turret as well right there.
Yeah, wow, that's early. That is early for a turret to be down here in this game.
We're looking at a 5k gold lead on York's side here. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Ricky keeping a solid 35 CS lead, and the Rift Herald going to come down in mid lane. That is going to be 2 towers before the 12-minute mark, before plates have even dropped. It's going to get another charge off here on the inner turret before it's going to fall. And it's just, St. Clair can't do much.
Yeah, you know, getting that other second charge onto the inner turret as well was just so big because it really just creates these turrets to be even more weak during the bot lane. And you know what? They might be able to even almost clean up a turret here kind of soon if they were able to find all these ones. That's another frag coming through. That's going to be an 11-2 differential between these two teams now. 7,000 gold here separates these two teams. And honestly, St. Clair's scrambling right now to try to figure out an answer here to York University. Now, if you're in St. Clair's shoes here right now, Fundy, what are you doing?
I don't even know if there's much you can do. Like, you may just have to try and play to Ricky's side. Ricky here, though, he is going to hit the bull onto plus ratio. But can he get the ult? Yes, he can. That is going to be the reset. Can he chase down Logia? No, he cannot. Another kill for Logia, 605, 550 gold bounty.
650 now. It is just increased by the time you said that. So
right after I said that.
Yeah, I literally watched it change as you were saying that there. So it is going to be the bounty just increasingly charging up for Logia there. And, you know, that really could help out St. Clair if they do find it. But at this point, that bounty might not even be enough by itself, right? You still have such a gold differential here. It's going to be St. Clair. Yeah, like you said, maybe playing a little bit more towards that Ricky side, that top lane side, and trying to win your fights there could help you out a little bit, but regardless, you're still going to need to see some sort of drastic play come through, some sort of big team fight win or something like that go in favor of St. Clair to provide them that opening they need. Otherwise, York University right now could just play very conservative, play very slow, and they know they'll eventually, by the end of this game, clean it up. But I'd like to see from York University also just kind of keep their composure despite being up by so much.
Yeah. One thing I did notice, Sephiroth took Summon Airy, which is a fine rune on Victor, way more poke oriented and is up way more than the typical first strike that we've seen them take. But I would have liked to see the first strike, considering I don't know if plus ratio was able to steal that Raptor. It looked like it still went to Fresh. But the vision there, I mean, look at the vision in St. Clair's jungle right now, plus ratio. The vision score gap on the supports, I mean, 26-9. There's so many advantages that York is taking around the map in terms of vision, in terms of macro. We saw the two towers go down, we saw the Rift Herald go down, 2 dragons up now. There's
it's just so many assets.
Yeah,
like, right?
so many ways that St. Clair is behind.
Yeah, like that Rift Herald was really big to really just take down so many of that turret damage, the tower damage from the side of St. Clair. Now with the 2 dragons, those buffs are just going to be immaculate. It's only a matter of time. If York University lets this game go on for much longer, they probably will get that super buff and get those 4 dragons. But right now, something that is really to keep in mind here is, St. Clair, they just got to kind of keep themselves in this one. I don't want to allow them to, ruin their morale over this first game too, because there is still a whole other game about to come on after this one against Bay State. So you kind of got to keep this one just as like a little bit of a grain of salt, and remember it is preseason and keep your composure for the remainder of the night. But as of right now, it is not looking too hot. It is going to be Zephyros sent airborne here from Khan, and Khan is just going to do the dirty work. Sweet Tangerine will come in there for assistance, but that's regardless going to be the cleanup for York University.
And that is huge too. They burnt Zephyros TP by canceling it. And that was right after the TPs had been unleashed, right? So Khan is going to get his TP back way before Zephyros is going to get it, which is going to give so much prio for these objectives, because Khan's going to be able to side lane and then just TP to the buff or to the objective, whereas Zephyros will not have that luxury for the next 5 minutes.
Yes, exactly. Besides the whole game, I want to touch on plus ratio, W name.
Huge
like,
W name.
Imagine
same as Sweet Tangerine.
Honestly, I could go for a Sweet Tangerine now.
I bought a fat crate and have just been munching them all week, so I love tangerines.
Oh, yeah. Here we are. It is going to be
another Rift Herald.
Yeah, I mean, this Rift Herald is just going to go through it's probably going to get another 2 charges. They're going to use it nicely, and it's going to be St. Clair forced back into their spawn near the Nexus there, and it's just going to allow York to just get that Rift Herald out there and use it once again to their advantage. So we are going to see St. Clair here trying to, play this mid lane here a little bit, trying to get a lot of damage done there. But, I mean, there's just nothing really working here for them.
Yeah, perfect flash on Khan to flash that hook from Ricky. And that is going to be Ghost used for flash, so a little better in Ricky's favor, but it's still some for some. It's not too bad. Flash obviously being the more valuable one out of the 2, but I like that idea from Ricky, right? Okay, we know the rest of the team is topside. Let me see if I can just catch out Khan here. I've got to put somebody behind. I've got to try and get as much as I can, right? But yeah, very rough for St. Clair right now.
I feel like I'm almost just repeating myself over and over here, because
Yeah,
it's
I
like
know.
that's the thing with League of Legends, right? You get yourself into a tough little groove right off the bat, and it's really hard to recover, right? I mean, that initial team fight, it was such a risk right off the bat, right? For St. Clair to stack up like they did and play that start of the game like they did, it was that risk, and we were talking about it. Is it going to pay off drastically, or is it going to really punish them in the end of the game? And by what we're seeing here right now, it's looking like it's been a pretty punishable offense to start off the game like that. So it's going to be St. Clair. I mean, they're trying to turn things around here right now, but it's just so difficult once you're down in a position like this in League of Legends.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the game end around the 20-25 minute mark. I wouldn't be surprised if York just immediately goes for a Baron with how strong they are once that comes up. I mean, just looking around the map, they're constantly taking like all of the advantages they can. Like if we look at the gold here,
yeah, I
like,
mean, it's just unreal.
Bot lane, 4.5k gold gap there, or 3.5 ish.
Yeah.
In the bot lane there, mid we're seeing a 2k gold gap. Jungle we're seeing a k and a half, and then Ricky is gonna be up on Khan. But then again, how valuable is that?
Yeah,
when
and
you,
it's a
you
lot of
can't
its
move?
farm too, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like he's got that 142 farm compared to the 94, 95, so that's going to be where a lot of that gold increase comes from as well. But yeah, how valuable is that when the bot lane is such a differential, right? I
Yeah.
mean, like, yeah, Ricky might be up 1,000 gold. That's huge for Ricky, right, to be in the top lane there. But you will see the Rift Tailor come out here once again, and that should probably knock over that turret. I do believe there it is coming through. And will it get another charge off? That is going to be a good question, as Ricky will be falling off this fight over towards that top lane side. I do believe it was. And here's the second charge getting
Ooh,
ready
it
to
is
come
gonna
through, and it's going to get it. Here we go. And it is going to pop off. They try to shut that one down, but it did get that charge on through.
Yeah, once again, even more gold going on. Now we're seeing an 8k gold gap in favor of York. They are going to go get this dragon to one of the big objective bounties that St. Clair needs to try and find.
It's I don't think need. I think it's like a must.
It's
like
like
it's
a
a need.
must.
It's a
Like
need.
they
Yeah.
have to get that bonus gold, otherwise they. And here it is, the CC chain on Fresh. Fresh cannot move. Everfrost, Gold Card, Lux Root, Malphite. Like Monka has a knockup as well. You can't move against this team comp. We saw it in the bot lane. Barlow has cleanse. It doesn't even matter. Just so much power in this comp during the team fights. Not to mention just how far ahead they are in items.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Even just 5 minutes ago, we were talking about the assets that York University had, right? They just used that Rift Herald for their second time, and now that they have 3 dragons to their name as well, is just one away from that buff that you are looking for. So it's really going to be the York University side of things, just trying to keep building up their assets. They're not taking. I really like what York is doing right now. They're not taking these big risks. They're not allowing St. Clair to find this slim opportunity to come back in the game. They're playing it slow. They're playing it how they want to. They're in the driver's seat. They're in control. And they are just, gathering these assets, using them to their advantage, and repeat.
Yeah. Right now, we're seeing them all kind of grouped up 5 players towards the top lane, but I did notice that York is playing a lot of 4-man and then 1 bot, as FaZe is going to go down to the Malphite ult. Not actually going to go down, as his root is going to come out. Barlow's ult going to be coming out here, putting in as much damage as he can. Ricky with the ult reset, going to come out, can just barely get hit by that Lux Root. Zephyros trying his best to deal the damage on Logia here, but the Gale Force, the Flash, so much mobility. The heal is going to come out. Zephyros going to go down to Monka. Logia, can he live? But Barlow going to find the 1,000 gold shutdown. Another kill going over to Fresh.
That's what they needed a little bit. Yeah.
Much better fight, right? Yeah, as soon as they burnt that Malphite ult, right, it took out so much so much of the threat in the fight. As well as Logia kind of being caught out there near Zephyros. So a lot of York's damage was not there. Meanwhile, you had Barlow with his ult up going in there. And then Ricky, of course, the ult coming out, the reset coming out. But Barlow almost going to fall again.
It's so big that
just
he kept
a Lux
life.
combo.
Yeah, the Lux combo is so strong. I mean, we've been talking about it all game long. So it is going to be really, really big for FaZe to actually make it up there with his life as well with Barlow. So it is going to be very, very big here for both of them to, be able to sneak away with their fights. But regardless, we are going to be coming back here now into the mid lane, I believe, is where this fight is going to be focused. It is going to be Sweet Tangerine and Zephyros looking to get into it in a little bit of an engagement here. Sweet Tangerine going to be down a little bit on HP. However, does have a level over Zephyros. And I don't think we're going to see too much of an engagement as both players do fall off.
Yeah, Zephyros being as behind as he is, while he is still very strong because Victor is just a strong champion, and that, as late into the game as we are, 180 CS, he's probably got all 3, if not 2 of his abilities upgraded. So, yeah, he is going to be very strong, and Sweet Tangerine on the TF, not exactly the 1v1 champion you want, especially into that Victor. So I think they were just trying to reset those waves there. As around the map, we're just going to see, once again, Fresh going to be backing here, Tangerine, or plus Ratio, taking out even more vision. The top side here, the top side jungle is always had York players in it, as they're going to be clearing out vision for this Baron. Like I said, we're going to see the early 20-minute, 25-minute Baron here at 22 minutes.
The Baron, if York cleans up the Baron, that's going to be just setting them on a completely different scale here, right? I mean, that's going to be putting York at such an advantage. I've said it already over and over. They have that gold advantage. They have this kills advantage. They have every advantage they need, dragons-wise and whatnot as well. The Baron is just going to be that little cherry on top for them to try to wrap up this game. Like you were saying, it's going to probably wrap up, around the next few minutes or so here. So one good, strong push from York, and it's going to be the cookie crumbling from St. Clair.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we are going to see Barlow use the curtain call here, try and get as much as he can. And Ricky also
oh my goodness,
caught out once again in this Baron
Yeah, that is
fight.
so big there. That is going to be Logia able to take down Ricky there, now having to channel back due to low HP, but Zephyros and Fresh both going to be stuck here in an engagement as well. It is going to be Sweet Tangerine looking to focus those ones out as both of them fall off. Some chains do hit onto FaZe. He will manage to keep his life. Fresh trying to come over here and support the fight. Zephyros is going to be the first line of defense here now. Big stun to push Monka off the fight, and it is going to be York University falling off. St. Clair defended that one off all rightly. However, it is going to be the Baron right back in the hands of York, and St. Clair just trying to make an effort to, push them off that Baron. It's just not going to go.
Yeah, Khan being able to hit that ult to pick off Ricky there. I mean, that's so huge, right? Like we've talked about, Ricky is the damage right now on St. Clair's side, right? So St. Clair not going to be able to flip this Baron as much as they may try to contest it here. Yeah, Barlow and Zephyros just going to try and do what they can. But most likely the Baron here is going to go to York as they're going to find Fresh.
Yeah, that was it was a good try, right? A for effort for Fresh there as he does make a good attempt for that, but it is going to be the Baron going in favor of them. Ricky though, Sweet Tangerine going to be tagged down. The chains will land. The
Golden
cleanup not going to be there as of quite yet. Sneaking away, Lacan is going to be the first line of defense here. Now that is going to be Zephyros able to take down Monka here as Alogia is going to be getting nice and close here as FaZe tagged down, Ricky tagged down. They will be able to sneak away here, but no, the root will land, and this could be a problem, but no, overall, Saints will sneak away once again. I believe they come away with just one pick on that one.
Yeah, I mean, perfect Zonia's timing from Sweet Tangerine there, able to save himself from the Ricky bleed that was coming out. I mean, the ult unfortunately did not execute him. It left him there with what almost looked like 2 health. I mean, he was so low. St. Clair, though, they are hopefully able to flip this dragon here, but it's gonna be the steal.
The steal, I have never
From Sweet Tangerine.
I have not watched a League of Legends game, this impactful from York so far in a while. That's gonna be their 4th dragon. They will get that buff underneath their name, and you know what? It's just been so big dominant play. I've very rarely seen dragon steals in my time, covering League of Legends and working on the broadcast crew for League of Legends, and that is one of the cleaner dragon steals I've seen, just timed perfectly, and it is going to work out for York. That's gonna just provide them the advantage they already had is now just increased.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, right, we do see dragon steals, but dragon steals from a TF, I believe it was a Q, just some cards that he had tossed in there.
It literally was.
You don't see that often, right? Perfect timing there. That's gonna pick them up the soul too. So not only is it just a dragon steal for them, but it is even more value because they are going to get that mountain soul out of it.
Now Ricky is going to be getting tagged down, and that's going to be him sent airborne as Khan and Sweet Tangerine are here fighting for him. Ricky will get one, but it does look like he will be getting traded out here unless he will be able to sneak away. He's got some health to his name. That's a big heal. FaZe is there as well for the help. Ricky, though, will finally get slain out from Logia. However, that is going to be Fresh able to take down Lacan for a quick little trade. Now we are going to see some more engagements come through. Zephyros will be the one taken down from Monka. It is going to be airborne sent Fresh, and he will get cleaned up as well. All the frag going in favor of York University. FaZe is the last man standing here to try to make something happen, but this turret is going to go down. You will see York University just absolutely pushing into the St. Clair Nexus territory, and this is going to be a terrible position here for St. Clair.
Yeah, given the death timers here, we may just see them end the game. I mean, they've got Baron up.
They won't end the game.
Fresh and Zephyros aren't. I mean, we're going to see another kill here onto FaZe, right?
Oh,
the
man.
damage is just so much. We're seeing 25 stack Medjais on that Lux. We saw in the last fight, the Lux literally just raw ulted Barlow while he was in his own Jinnar, and it just took him out, right? He was already half health, quarter health. Ricky trying his best, but there's not much they can do as the rest of St. Clair slowly funneling out, but...
Yeah, they're slowly funneling out, but you're in the situation where the Nexus is already going to get tagged down with, 20% of its total damage, and you're just getting held back right into the initial spawn, and that is going to be the Nexus getting sent away. York University will find this one here over your St. Clair Saints. It was dominant for them from start to finish, and they are... probably feeling pretty good coming out of that one. St. Clair, maybe not so much, but they definitely got an idea of some things that they might want to kind of work on in the backline.
Yeah, I mean, we saw exactly what we predicted in the pregame, right? The bot lane is where the power is going to be. The bot lane is where the game is going to be decided by, and we saw that within the first 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, we were talking about it there in the pregame. The bot lane was going to have one of the bigger impacts on this one for the side of York, and that is what we do see. The top lane from Ricky really trying to do what he could, but it just wasn't enough. But without further ado, we don't have a lot of time here before we got to hop into our next one against Bay State. So, going to show some love here to our sponsors real quick. Joining us last semester was going to be Crunchyroll, and still is going to be Crunchyroll here. Essentially, the Netflix of anime. You guys can get a free 14-day premium trial for Crunchyroll.com/Saints. Once again, free 14-day premium trial, Crunchyroll.com/Saints. Any anime you could want to watch will most likely be on Crunchyroll. So, with that being said, we'd also like to show some love to our other sponsors as well, being Tim Hortons, Subway, the St. Clair SRC, the St. Clair College Alumni Association, and the St. Clair Zeckerman School of Business. With that being said, I got the jacket on today. I know the last couple streams I haven't had the jacket on, but here we go. If you guys are interested in getting any of our merch as well, acquire.ca/Saints. I know you got the crew neck on here right now as well. I got that one at home here, but it is going to be t-shirts, jackets, jerseys, flags, masks, hoodies, crew necks, anything you guys could imagine will be on the Saints merch store at acquire.ca/Saints. If you're interested, all very affordable and very, very comfortable. And with that being said, we are going to be sending this one here to a quick little break as we do get ready for our next match. Going to be up against Bay State Esports with an 8 p.m. EST start time. My name is Jackson Pratt Brown, joined alongside Josh Fundy Pafundi. We'll be right back with you guys at 8 p.m. with Bay State Esports.
Don't go anywhere.